Okay, good morning, everyone. Today we're going to see something in relation to the TOEFL test. To start with, we're going to take a look at the meaning of TOEFL. What is the meaning of TOEFL? So TOEFL is Test of English as a Foreign Language. So today we'll have a general overview about this test, right? In relation to the different skills that it measures, that it assesses. And well, after that we're going to have some practice in relation to it. Well, what is a TOEFL IBT test? IBT because it is internet-based test, right? So it of course measures the ability to communicate by combining all four language skills. Which ones? Reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Of course, it is academically focused. It measures English in the sense that it will be used in an academic setting, like for example, if you are planning to pursue a master's degree overseas. So it's very necessary that you have a very high score to apply to those universities, right? In order to be accepted, it's very important. Of course, it also provides a fair and objective scoring. It provides valid and reliable information to support score users. And it is accepted in more than 9,000 colleges, universities, and agencies in more than 130 countries in the world. It takes into account, as I told you, all the four skills. In terms of reading and listening, of course, they are independently worked. However, there is a part where they are combined in order for you to produce something regarding speaking and writing, which are the productive skills, right? So that's why here we have in speaking and writing as the output, and for reading and listening, the input. The TOEFL IBT test takes into account the student's ability to integrate reading and listening, right, as if you were in a real academic situation. So for that reason, it is necessary to work on summarizing, synthesizing, analyzing, answering questions in class. Like, for example, if you are exposed to that contest, so how would you react? How would you perform in an academic setting at a university graduate level? Okay, so prepare for the test is a synonym of prepare for the future. So if you have a good score, so you are going to have more chances, to get a good possibility in a university. The test is based on what students need to have in order to do well in a university classroom. It takes into account the integrated skills. Of course, the content is very academic as well as the setting. Well, let's talk about the details of this test. So, for reading, we have 4 passages from academic tests. In total, we have like between 12 and 14 questions per passage. It takes between 60 and 80 minutes. And of course, the scale is over 30, although you have like 46, 48 questions. The scale is always over 30 because as you have 4 skills, so it's necessary to have each of them over 30 because the total overall score is over 120. As for listening, we have between 4 and 6 lectures, some with classroom discussion, 6 questions each, and also 2 or 3 conversations, 5 questions each. All right. This takes between 60 and 90 minutes, and again, it's score over 30. Then you will have a break, that is a 10-minute break. After that, speaking, 2 tasks to express an opinion, 4 tasks to speak based on reading and listening passages. So that's why I told you at the beginning that you have the combination of those 2 things. And then in writing, 1 integrated task, write based on what is read and listened to, and 1 independent task where you have to support an opinion regarding a topic. right? So as you can see, so it's everything over 30 having a total score of 120. So let's go over reading. So reading, as I told you, so it is between 3 and 4 passages from academic tests. Why do you have between 3 and 4? Because when you have 4, it's because the TOEFL IBT institution is piloting one of the tests. However, you don't know which one. So that's why it's necessary that you are very concentrated and focused when you are answering these questions, right? So approximately we have 700 words long, and it's followed by 12, 14 questions for each reading passage. The task design measures reading for basic comprehension and inference, and reading to learn. Oh, okay, the background. What is the background for reading? So again, this is very academic-like. So we have basic comprehension, learning, and inferencing. What kind of tests would you have? So expository, narrative, and argumentative. So abstract patterns of information organization, like description, definition, sequence, procedure, cause effect, classification, comparison, contrast, problem solution. This is kind of similar to we have been working on the essays, right? Like different kinds of essays, but now in terms of reading. Question types, very important. Basic comprehension such as vocabulary, sentence simplification, factual, negative fact. Also, reading to learn, prose summary, so that you can be able to summarize, classify, categorize, and organize information. Inference, of course, rhetorical purpose. What was the author's intention in writing that kind of test? And also insert test, like for example, you are given different possibilities to fill out in a blank. For example, you have a blank, you know, uh, like let's say like within your test, and you need to insert the idea that best fits in that space. Listening, although I know that is not the emphasis of our class, I'm going to talk about all the skills, right? So as for listening, again, so this is for academic purposes. You need basic comprehension, pragmatic understanding, and connect and synthesize information. So, types of listening stimuli. You have conversations, discussions with professors, so you will hear that. Service encounters, like for example, the student that goes to the library to borrow a book or something. Lectures, you have the monologue, where is just the professor talking, and also you may have something interactive where the professor may have some discussion with the students. So it's necessary that you pay attention to that, and also take into account that you are going to be exposed to different topics. It's not just humanities. No, you're going to have something about geography, chemistry, anthropology, astronomy, science, so there are like different situations you're going to be exposed to, because it is that students have to be ready to face different kinds of scenarios, of course in relation to academic settings, but different possibilities, right? Okay. The academic lectures, so we have 4 and 6 lectures, some with classroom discussion, as I told you, 3 to 5 minutes long. So it's necessary that you get used to listening to long monologues, let's say, or even lectures, because it might be tiring at first, but it's necessary that you get used to it. Each lecture is followed by 6 questions. Also, you may have informal campus conversations, between 2 and 3 conversations, 3 minutes long. Each conversation is followed by 5 questions. Like for example, people are asking, I don't know, for example, the institution, the university is asking the students about having or not, I don't know, like transportation inside the university, for example. So you may hear different opinions from students, and the idea is that you can also, infer, well, more than infer, is like, okay, understand what they are saying, because you may have different opinions towards the topic. So it's necessary that you are clear with that. Okay, so now we go over speaking. Speaking, takes into account 6 tasks, 2 independent tasks about familiar topics. Responses are based on personal experience, like for example, this is a situation, tell me about yourself, or so personal information, no problem. The other 4 integrated tasks, as the name says, they are integrated. So you have 2 reading, listen, speaking tasks, right? So where you read some information, and also you may have a short audio in relation to a topic, of course, in a university setting. The other, okay, we have 2 listen speaking tasks. It's just that you listen to something and then you have to speak. And of course, responses are based on what was read and heard. For this, you have 20 minutes. Speaking scores, so holistic score, test takers are rated on topic development, delivery, language use, and ratings are between 0 and 4, but are converted to a scale score from 0 to 30. It's important that you take into account like the structure, that you start like with an intro, then the development and the conclusion, so that your speech is well organized, right? Now we have writing. So writing tasks, you will have 2 writing tasks, 1 integrated task. It has reading, listening, and writing. So it has short academic reading and listening material. For this, you will have 20 minutes. In some cases, for example, you will have the same, of course, the same topic in the listening and in the reading, but the listening has one direction and the reading has another. So they are like somehow like comparing things, contrasting things, right? Saying that, for example, they are talking about an experiment in science, and people, for example, in the reading, they are in agreement with this, but in the listening, the professor or the speaker is not. So you need to try to come up with ideas in relation to expressing what they are saying, in both taking into account both points of view. The other is the independent task, response based on personal experience or opinion. It takes 30 minutes. I'm going to show you an example of that second written test. Independent writing rubric is holistic, development of ideas, organization, quality, and accuracy of language used. Integrated writing rubric, it's holistic, quantity of writing, completeness and accuracy of response. Ratings are from 0 to 5. Of course, again, they are converted into 30, from 0 to 30 scale. Well, this is important for you to know. Toefl IBT uses the E-rater, which is an automated scoring engine in a limited and responsible way for the writing section. Each writing task has a human rater and also 1 automated rating. So it's necessary for you to know this. It combines the judgment of humans for content and meaning and the consistency of automated scoring for linguistic features. So you see, technology is advancing very much, that now we have something that automatically can check our papers. Okay, so integrated writing. So look, test takers is 230 or 300 word reading for 3 minutes. Then test taker hears a 2-minute lecture about the same topic from a different perspective or with additional information, as I was telling you. Test taker sees the reading again and also a prompt, and test taker has 20 minutes to respond to the prompt. In task 2, independent writing, test taker sees a prompt that asks for an opinion about any issue. Test taker is advised to use specific reasons and examples to support an opinion. Test taker has 30 minutes in total for preparation, writing, and revision, and suggested word count for response is 300 words, like an essay. This is an example. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Always telling the truth is the most important consideration in any relationship. Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. So, there you go. So, here you have additional resources you can take a look at.